Today we're going to learn how to multiply variables and how to simplify expressions using that multiplication. We're going to start off by just doing some addition like we're used to right up here, just showing addition as multiplication, and then we'll get into some multiplication which we will show with exponents. Okay, so remember, multiplication shows groups of the same number. So what I mean by that is 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 means that it's 4 groups of the number 4. So we would do 4 times 4. There's 4 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 groups of 4. Okay, in elementary school we might have showed those in circles. Okay, right now we're just showing them using that number. So there's 4 groups of 4, 4 times 4, which would get us to 16. Okay. When it's a letter, same idea. This means that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of B. So this would be 4B or 4 times B. Remember, when 4 is next to a letter, it means multiplication. So we can write this as 4 times B or 4 plus B. We learned this when we did the combining like terms. A burger plus a burger plus a burger plus a burger is 4 burgers because there's 4 groups of burgers. 4 times B. Same thing here. We've got 1, 2, 3 groups of Y, so it would be 3 times Y. Okay, if you're starting to catch on to this, you can work ahead of the video. Here we've got 3 groups of Z, so this would be 3Z. Z plus Z plus Z. 3 zebras. Okay, here remember we can only combine ones that are the same. Okay, so I've got Y plus Y plus Y, that's 3 groups of Y. And then I've got Z plus Z plus Z, that's 3 groups of Z. And I'm just going to add those together because I can't combine groups of Y's and groups of Z's. Those are different objects. And then just remember, like I said before, 12 times H is just written as 12H. That's how we would simplify that, is just taking out that multiplication sign, because 12H means 12 times H. All right, go ahead, pause the video, try these next 3 on your own, and then resume the video to check your answers. All right, if we are watching right now, we should have the answers to these 3 problems at least written down or attempted, and we are just checking our answers. So here I've got 5 groups of Y's, so I have 5Y, or 5 times Y. Here I've got 3 groups of B, so I'd have 3B, and 2 groups of C, so I'd have plus 2C. 3 groups of B and 2 groups of C, and I'd add those together to get what I would have all together. And then again, 16 times B, we would just simplify by taking out that multiplication sign and making it just a 16B. All right, so this is just kind of a review of what we've already done. Get us thinking about multiplication shows groups of addition. Okay? Multiplication shows groups of addition. That's important. Okay, because exponents show groups of multiplication. Okay, so when we did exponents, we did 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. 4 is the number being multiplied, so that's our big number, that's our base. 4 is being multiplied, and it's being multiplied 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So we'd write 4 as our exponent. Same idea with variables or letters. B is being multiplied, so B is my base or my big number, and it's being multiplied 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So we'd write it as B to the power of 4. This is not 4B. Okay, because a burger times a burger times a burger times a burger is different than a burger plus a burger plus a burger plus a burger. So when we have multiplication, we write it with exponents, just like we did with numbers. When numbers are being added, we write it with multiplication. When numbers are being multiplied, we write it with exponents. So here we have H is being multiplied, so H is our base, and it's being multiplied 3 times, so it is H to the power of 3. All right, down below we just talked about H times H times H, that is H to the power of 3. And then I have a times 12. And just like this example right up here, the way that I can simplify that is by dropping out that multiplication sign. So that would become just 12H to the power of 3. So we would multiply 12 times H to the power of 3. Okay, and we're not looking for answers. I'm not telling you what number H equals. So this is what our answer is going to be. We're just simplifying. right, so go ahead, pause the video, try these next two problems on your own, and then resume the video to check your answers. All right, so here we have y is being multiplied, so y is our base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Here we have m is being multiplied 2 times, and then that's being multiplied by 3. So we drop out that multiplication sign. This becomes 3m to the power of 2. These mean the exact same thing. This is just more simplified because it drops out that multiplication sign. Okay, so again, just refresh. Addition, we simplify that by showing it in groups of multiplication. When we're multiplying things, we show that in exponents. Okay, but we can also multiply and simplify variables like 2 times 3b. So remember that multiplying shows groups of the same number or expression. So for example, 2 times 3 means 2 groups of 3b. So this means there are groups of 3b, 2 groups of 3b. If we wrote it as addition, it would be like this, 3b and 3b. Okay, those would be our groups and we'd add them together. 2 groups of 3b. If we had our circles, we'd put 2 circles, put 3b, 3b. We'd try to find how many that is total, and we'd simplify it to be 6b, because 3b plus 3b is 6b. Same letter, so we just add those front numbers. Okay, now notice 3b plus 3b, so 2 groups of 3b equals 6b. So look at this answer and look at the problem we started with and think about how else could we get to 6b just from looking at this, not from writing out the groups. Because if I have 17 groups of 3b, I'm not going to want to sit there and draw 17 groups of 3b to add them all up. Okay, so we can get 6 by multiplying 3 times 2. And that's how we can simplify these. So this would be the same as multiplying the 2 and the 3, and then just keeping the b. So doing 2 times 3 is 6, b. Okay, so let's try some of those without drawing the groups. This would mean 3 groups of 5b. So if I wanted to draw it out, I would draw 3 groups of 5b, or I could just do 3 times 5 is 15b. 5, 10, 15b. We'd end up at the same answer. But here we're starting to get more groups, which is why we want to get away from those circles. We want to do 8 times 9, because it's 8 groups of 9y. 8 times 9 is 72y. Okay. Remember, when a number is next to parentheses, this means multiplication. Okay. Just like when a number is next to a letter, when a number is next to parentheses without a symbol. So if it was like 6 plus 3x, that doesn't mean multiplication, that means addition because there's a sign there. But when there's not a symbol there, it means multiplication. Okay, so this would be 6 times 3, which is 18x. All right, I would love for you to pause the video. Go ahead and try these last 3 on your own. If we are watching right now, we should have answers to each of these problems. If not, pause and do those. Here we would have 3 times 5 is 30, 5 times 6 is 30b. Here we'd have 4 times 8, 32m. Here we would have 9 times 4, 36y. Okay, so when we were multiplying groups of variables, like 3 groups of 5b, we can just multiply the 2 numbers and keep the b. Okay, because it means groups, so you can always draw those groups if you need to. But we should, in 6th grade, be able to get to the point where we can multiply without drawing out those groups, hopefully. Especially since you can use a multiplication chart if you need to. All right, and that is what we are learning today.